Hey guys, welcome back to Vince-Vell Custom. So today we're going to talk about and show you a work in progress video of a custom base I'm working on for a Wonder Woman premium format. Now this is a different type of base from my other videos. The idea is Wonder Woman is going to be in Superman's Fortress of Solitude, and I'll kind of explain what I'm trying to do. So Superman's Fortress of Solitude has all these pillar type things going up in certain angles and stuff, and that's kind of what I want to create. And you'll see at the end when the statue's done, but I just kind of want to go over what I'm doing with the base because I really don't know what I'm doing, but I have the idea, and I'm trying to do it where I utilize excess resin and mold without spending more money on stuff, because I figured whenever I cast my head bases, they always have a little extra resin in the cup because you want to make a little extra, so I've been salvaging it, I guess you can say. So went on eBay and I found these plexiglass square rods. Now just for one for like a foot is like $10, and the more you order the cheaper it is, but it's still very expensive because by the time I'm done with the base, if I ordered a bunch of these, the base alone would probably be like $150. I didn't want to do that, so I ordered one, and I figured alright, let me see if I would do all stuff like this around the base. So it was a good idea, but it came out to too expensive, so I kind of wanted to salvage stuff and still make it secured at the same time. So what I did was, whenever I made molds of my head bases or anything else that I needed to make, like generic bases, or if I sculpted something from scratch like the bubblegum for the Harley Quinn EX head, I always saved the extra mold that I would have in the cup. I made myself a box of this, and I kept pouring it in and pouring it in little by little. So what I did is I had this at the bottom of the box, and I had it there, and I just kept pouring in mold because you could see all different colors, and you could see some of it was messed up. So once I did that, and I started making generic head bases, generic bases and everything, I started making copies of this piece here. So I started getting my angles of these pieces. So the goal is I'm going to start putting pieces like at angles like this all over the base. So when Wonder Woman is standing there, it's going to be like she's at the Fortress of Solitude. And the idea is to make sure I have to do all this stuff where it's secured. So it's kind of like, I don't know exactly what's going to happen and how it's going to work. I have to cut each piece. And this is a Harley Quinn base from DC Collectibles that I've just been having sitting in my box of parts, so I figured let me utilize this and just keep running with it. So I started off with getting the piece that's going to hold Wonder Woman secured to this base. So what I did is I glued it for now, but I drilled a hole through here and a hole through here, and I'm going to put a metal rod with Magnascope going in there, and it's going to connect it like a staple. So this piece gets secured, and then once that's secured, I start cutting up all my pieces, and I can start putting them all around the base like this. I can have ones higher, I can have ones smaller like that probably, and just kind of start having fun with it and just going around. So I don't know how well it's going to work. I got to make sure that whenever I put a piece on there it's secure, because you can't just glue it and then all of a sudden it flops off and stuff. So what I might have to do is put pieces in, glue it, and then drill holes through it and then just go with pins and pin the whole piece together. I don't know. So like I say, you can salvage resin, you can salvage mold if you're casting. So like for example, you see this little dog dish. Whenever I have extra resin that I make a generic base or my head bases, I pour the extra in here, then I can pop this out, and then I got myself a little extra base that I can use for something else. So it's just a matter of going like even in here, I had some bad resin I had to mix up, and I made a cup so I can use this as a filler for something. So I could have done this with a piece of wood, but I wanted to experiment in the beginning with this clear plexi, and the problem was it was just too expensive to get all these up. And then after I got them up, you wanted semi-transparent, but then how do I get all these pieces together secured without them flopping all over? So it's like, what do I do? So this is what I came up with, and so it's simple of getting a generic square piece of rod, something, make a mold of it, and then you can start making all these pieces and start having fun with it. So I'll come back once I start building it up a little bit more and more. The idea right now is I just have to get Wonder Woman's foot here and this piece here secured first, and then I can start building up. And sorry for the mess, but this is the way the studio looks in the garage. So that's pretty much what I'm starting with. So we'll be back once I start getting more pieces on and securing it up. What I did next is I got a metal rod, brass rod. It's a fairly thick one. And what I did was I pushed the piece in, I bent it, and I pushed the other piece. So now I have what's like a staple, as you can kind of see. And what I did is I mixed up some Magic Sculpt and I pushed it in. So as you can see, the Magic Sculpt started coming out to the side here and a little bit over here, which is fine. That's okay. That's what I wanted. But what you do is you put this piece in here like this. Make sure you get it in there pretty well, and get something to really push it in. There we go. So now you put some Magic Sculpt around it like that. I'll probably put A's over it later, but I just want the Magic Sculpt on there to really, you know, or I can just put the Magic Sculpt and sand it, but A's usually smooths out a little bit better. Plus I don't know how further I'm going to go, so I'll just leave it like that. And then any of this Magic Sculpt that's on the side over here, you can just get an X-Acto knife or tool and just kind of cut it out. A little bit over here. Alright, so that is the beginning of the base. So we're going to let this harden overnight, and then what I can do is I can start planning out all the other pieces. But what I'll probably do is get Wonder Woman's foot secured over here a bit. With this, I might have to sand it out a little bit and push it down. I don't know, but as I build up, it's going to look like the Fortress of Solitude, so it's not going to look messy like this. But like I said, it's just the base. It's utilizing some old stuff that's sitting around and all that stuff. Now, I'll probably leave the foot here as well, because what I'll do is I'll put some pieces on the foot. But what I'll be doing is, the idea is taking Magic Sculpt and throwing Magic Sculpt on here like that, and then put a piece on, and then probably put glue and glue it, and then at the end start throwing rods between all the pieces to hold them all together. But, you know, who knows, things may change as the project goes on, but that's the idea so far. So we'll be back once I figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of it. Okay guys, so the other night I had some extra Magic Sculpt, and what I did is I just used this to settle this peg in a little bit. I still have to get the foot more secure than what it is, but I like the way it's positioning onto the base now. This foot's kind of secured, and this is hitting this piece, and it's pretty stable. So the next thing is I cut up this square, this block, and I want to put it like a little bit at an angle like that, offset. And I don't want it completely here, because I want to start having all these pieces kind of offset, you know, like it's like kind of like stepping up kind of thing. So what I did is I mixed up some Magic Sculpt, Aves. This is Aves Fix-It Sculpt. And it's just putting it right down in there. And I just want to make sure I'm getting it correct. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that sit like that. This is just a black Aves Fix-It that's on sale on their site. I just picked up one for doing filler stuff like this. The only reason why is because using black, it gets all over your fingers of like the ink. So what I'm going to do now is take her off the base, like so. And then I'm going to take the BSI gel, and I'm going to put it all over this piece here. Right down in there like that. I gotta move kind of fast on this. Get this piece, put it here, like so. And then we're going to take her and put her on the base like this. Making sure this is pushing down into the A's. It's sitting with the glue. Making sure she's going in there. This foot's going to have to be more secured. But everything looking like it's lining up correctly. This could come up just a little bit more. Like so. We can take a paintbrush, kind of push this underneath a bit. And then what we can do is get our Insta-Set foam bottle. And we can hit the Insta-Set and let it go down into the crack, and then it will set up the glue. Okay, so that's going to be that piece there. Let's kind of turn it around a little bit for you. So as you can kind of see, it's a little bit of a gap with the A's underneath. It's pretty much getting the foot set up. I mean, there's going to be a lot of cleaning involved after it's all said and done, but this is just getting the main blocks on there. So what I might do now is I'll go into the garage, I'll get a couple more blocks and start fitting them up and stuff where I can put them. I'm going to have to make sure one comes here, then I probably have to go down a bit, put one in front, and just kind of go in front first and then come back, I guess, and then start filling in with the stuff. But I want to make sure that this foot is giving like a good rest on with this foot. So let's just get some more blocks and go from there. Alright, so I just got 2 more blocks, and this is all I kind of want to do today. So I'm going to put this block here like this one. So I'm going to have to drill in here again, but I kind of want to make sure it's going flush. So what I'm going to do on this one for now is just get some of my VSI glue. And get it glued right in there, like so. Now I know these blocks aren't completely even. I know they should be, but like I said, it's kind of just running with it and having fun and just seeing what will happen. Take some of the... Now this, you can spray this, but I like to use this bottle that's been clogged just to kind of let it run, because sometimes if you spray this stuff, it goes all over and it just makes a mess. Then we're going to put this block here like that. So we take our A's again. Just to make sure before we do any glue. Oops. You always want to double check to make sure the foot or heel isn't hitting anything, which it won't be, so we're okay. Just like to make sure. And on this one, we can put a lot of glue here. We can throw some glue in there to secure that. Throw some over here. Then we can take this block, push it down, and like so. So as you get the idea, what I'm starting to do is just kind of building the Superman Fortress of Solitude thing. I guess I'm going off of the movie more. I don't know. I'm just having fun with it. Not really trying to think about it too much. But so when we put her in here, so she sits on that base like that. And then we start building up the blocks. So then the blocks are going to go shorter down here like this, so we see this leg. And then I guess maybe they'll be bigger in the back. I'm not really sure yet. I just want to get this front piece secured. But I'm going to have to drill in here and get that secured. And we got to do some sanding. And then it's all just having fun and just messing with it and just kind of come up with a cool idea. So that's where we're at now. I'll have to grab some more peat blocks and start cutting them up, but I also got to secure this foot a little bit more. So what I might do is use this A's, put under the foot some baby powder like I've done in my other videos, just to get this foot a little more secured. And then we'll be back when we start adding more blocks.